So today we've come to a Western Burt Arboretum. We're going to have a look at some of the hemlocks in the pine family. I'm going to give you a few tips on how to identify them. First things first, we need to know we're looking at hemlock, Tsuga. The hemlocks, remember the pine family, needle-like leaves. You can see they're quite slender and they have tiny little buds there. And they've also got these pretty small cones. There are 8 species that you'll often encounter in tree collections. And the first we're going to have a look at is the Western hemlock from Western North America. You've got different length leaves along the shoots, and sometimes the leaves will be upturned, so you've got the stomatal banding, the white banding that is apparent on the underside. Sometimes you can see that on the top side. It's quite variable. So next up, we've got the Eastern hemlock, Tsuga canadensis. You can see that they are much more neatly arranged. Broadest at the base, getting slightly narrower. And you can also see you've got this uniform row of upturned needles, but very, very small needles along the top. And those characters are really good for Eastern hemlock. The mountain hemlock, Tsuga mertensiana. Now in this species, it's not necessarily so white, but the presence of the banding on both sides of the needles means those needles have quite a bluish colour about them. Here we've got Tsuga caroliniana, the Carolina hemlock. The leaves are closest in form to those of the Western hemlock that we had a look at, and the Eastern hemlock. And the key difference there is in the Carolina hemlock, they tend to be parallel-sided most of the way along. There's no distinct taper, there's no bulge, and that's how you tell the difference. What we've got here is the northern Japanese hemlock, Tsuga diversifolia. And so straight away I'll flip the needle over and you can see it's quite bright stomatal banding on the underside there. And you can also see that the tip of the needle is notched. And also you can see that they got this orange shoot. Another important thing to have a look at is whether or not that shoot is hairy. The character is key for splitting this species from the southern Japanese hemlock, which we'll have a look at next. Here we've got the southern Japanese hemlock, which is Tsuga sibaldii. And straight away I'll turn the needle over. You can see it's not quite as orange as the northern Japanese hemlock, but you can see those tips are notched. But I know that key character is really important. And I can see that that's a smooth shoot there, so you know the southern Japanese hemlock is smooth. Tsuga chinensis, the Chinese hemlock. The needles can be longer than some of the others we've had a look at already. And crucially, you're looking for a long needle with a notched tip. Now I've got Tsuga dumosa, and like Tsuga chinensis, Chinese hemlock, the needles can be quite long. They differ from those of chinensis in that the tips tend to be rounded rather than notched. So again, you need your hand lens to get in there for that character. But also with Tsuga dumosa, the undersides really can be quite white.